My fiance's close friend almost destroyed us. Did I handle this right? The evening air was crisp, holding a hint of autumn's chill as I walked across the sprawling campus of the university. It was a time of youthful dreams and scholarly pursuits. It was here, amidst the hallowed halls and buzzing student center, that my life took an unexpected turn. Like me, a newcomer to the intricate world of graduate studies, eager to carve out a niche in the academic world, our paths intertwined. Our initial encounter was as unremarkable as it was fortuitous, occurring during a mandatory orientation for incoming students. I remember the room was overly warm, filled with the nervous energy of dozens of students. Brian sat next to me, introduced by a mutual acquaintance who had prematurely left to answer a call. We struck up a conversation, initially threading through the safe territories of our academic interests and backgrounds. I was passionate about renewable energy, while I pursued sociology, driven by a desire to understand the undercurrents of human interaction. A compliment was exchanged, a theme that would underscore much of our future together. In the weeks that followed, our paths crossed with increasing frequency. We shared long debates over cups of lukewarm coffee, challenging each other's perspectives and often discovering our shared values. There was an ease between us, an acknowledgement of mutual respect and admiration that deepened with time. As our second year of graduate school commenced, circumstances led us to become roommates. The decision was practical at its core, motivated by our compatible living habits and the convenience of sharing rent. Yet, living together brought a new depth to our friendship. Our evenings were filled with shared meals and continued debates. We were both ambitious, driven to succeed, and found solace in each other's company. It was during one particularly poignant evening that our relationship took a romantic turn. We had been discussing a group project when a sudden power outage plunged the apartment into darkness. In the vulnerability shared between shadows, the line between friendship and something more blurred, and we found ourselves drawn together not just by intellectual compatibility, but by a burgeoning emotional connection. We continued to share an apartment, the dynamic shifting subtly. Where there had once been two beds now stood one, punctuated by moments of tenderness. We found jobs in different states, and for a brief period, our relationship was stretched across miles of separation. The long-distance phase was trying, filled with longing and the frustration of connecting through screens. Yet our foundation was solid, built on years of trust and understanding. We learned to communicate in new ways, keeping our connection alive through daily calls and texts, counting down the days until we could be together again. That day finally arrived, a testament to our commitment. It was a leap of faith for him, leaving behind his established life to build a new one with me. I remember the day he arrived vividly, a pivotal moment, one that marked the beginning of a new chapter for us. We now live together in our own apartment, a place filled with laughter, occasional debates, and ambitious plans for the future. We cook together, experimenting with recipes and laughing at our culinary misadventures. Evenings are spent curled up on the couch, lost in each other's company. We support each other's careers, understanding the pressures and triumphs, always ready to offer encouragement or a listening ear. Brian is more than just my partner, he is my best friend, the person I plan to spend the rest of my life with. Our relationship is built on a deep mutual respect and love, on shared values and dreams. We talk often about the future, about marriage and the life we hope to build together. With each passing day, my anticipation for a proposal grows, not out of expectation, but from a deep-seated knowledge of our readiness to embark on that journey together. As I reflect on our relationship, from its humble beginnings on the university campus to the life we are building together, I am filled with gratitude for the laughter, the support, and the unwavering love we share. It's a relationship rooted in friendship, strengthened by challenges, and made infinitely richer by the profound connection we share. Brian's transition into a new job was a breath of fresh air after our reunion. Initially, she was just another coworker he mentioned in passing, someone on a project they collaborated on, but quickly became a notable figure in his daily recounts. Liz has this incredible knack for organizing things, he would say. It was all very innocuous, the typical budding workplace friendship. I learned she had worked with an organization closely linked to mine, which added layers of small world charm to their interactions. She knows Sarah from your team, Brian mentioned one night, and I found it funny how interconnected our worlds seemed. My reaction to Liz was shaped by trust. Having seen Brian maintain friendships with women throughout our years together, I had little reason for concern. And there have been several instances where he hung out with female friends without me. Each time, he shared his plans openly. There was only ever one exception, a friend from his past that I hadn't felt comfortable about. Brian immediately adjusted his boundaries with her, reassuring me that our relationship came first. When Brian mentioned that Liz wanted to meet me, it felt like a positive step. She thinks it would be great to get all of us together, you know, a mini get-together, he suggested. She was just a friend, a coworker, and nothing more. She had a fiancé, mirroring in some ways the life that Brian and I were building. My comfort with the situation was a testament to the strength and openness of our relationship. His conversations about Liz were filled with mundane details and work-related anecdotes. They brought a sense of normalcy to his new job environment, a place where he was still planting his roots. In the grand tapestry of our lives, Liz was just another thread, adding color and texture, seamlessly woven together. As the weeks slipped by, a pattern began to emerge in our daily exchanges. Brian's new job was going well, and his enthusiasm was palpable. It started subtly, with comments about her valuable contributions in meetings, or her clever suggestions in brainstorming sessions. However, as days turned into weeks, her name was mentioned with increased frequency, and it started to gnaw at me. One evening, as we cleaned up after dinner, Brian brought up a new development, drawing a plate nonchalantly. He explained that Liz lived nearby in a temporary apartment due to her fiancé's job. "It makes sense, you know. We're both heading the same way, and it could save us both some time and gas money," he said. The office was about a 30-minute drive without traffic, but morning rush hour stretched it to nearly 45 minutes each way. I nodded, understanding the practicality of it. At least an hour and a half together alone every day as they headed into the office. Would their conversations stray from work? Would the closeness breed a familiarity that edged into more personal territory? He mentioned it would only be 2 to 3 days a week, depending on their office days and field work. "It's just an idea for now," he assured me with a smile. I forced a smile back, trying to mask the unease that was beginning to bubble beneath the surface. The first day he actually picked her up, he announced, "I'm going to go pick up Liz and head into work." I was caught off guard, not realizing they had decided to start so soon. When he returned home that evening, it was as if nothing out of the ordinary had occurred, and he didn't bring it up again. According to him, it wasn't a regular arrangement. The situation escalated unexpectedly one evening. While we were enjoying a quiet evening watching a movie, Brian casually mentioned, "Liz and Tom are looking for a more permanent place to live. They're actually interested in our building," he said almost as an afterthought. "They're coming to see it tomorrow." I paused the movie, turning to look at him in disbelief. The news unsettled me, the proximity felt too close for comfort. The next day, I saw them briefly in the elevator, being shown around by management. They were polite, and the meeting was brief, but the reality of them moving into our building started to sink in, a weight settling in the pit of my stomach. That evening, Brian received a text from Liz. "They got the apartment," he announced, his voice betraying a hint of excitement. The proximity meant more shared rides, more interaction, and an intimacy that was far too close for my comfort. From then on, they became a daily occurrence. They texted and called. Brian was transparent about these interactions, always open about the context of their conversations, yet the frequency made me uneasy. I didn't snoop on his phone or invade his privacy, but the constant buzzing, often late into the evening, started to wear on me. It was all cloaked in the veil of work-related chat, but still, I couldn't help but feel a pang of insecurity. As I lay in bed one night, staring at the ceiling, I couldn't help but feel a creeping sense of dread. The ease that once defined our evenings was now punctuated by the subtle presence of someone else. My mind raced with uncertainties and what-ifs. Was I being unreasonable? Was the threat I perceived real, or just a shadow cast by overthinking? These thoughts swirled in my mind, a quiet storm brewing over what seemed like practical, innocent arrangements. I was trembling under the weight of my insecurities, knowing a conversation was inevitable, where my fears and feelings would have to be voiced, where the strength of our relationship would be tested by the complexities of human connections and boundaries yet to be defined. The unsettling feeling that had slowly begun to plant its roots within me started to sprout as days turned into weeks. It wasn't just the car rides anymore. Brian's phone buzzed more frequently than before, the screen lighting up with Liz's name. They were small interactions, questions about a project, or a quick confirmation about something work-related, but their accumulation felt like a subtle erosion of our intimacy. One afternoon stood out, its impact amplified by the context. We were at my parents' house for a family lunch. Amidst the clinking of cutlery and the hum of conversation, Brian's phone rang. He excused himself and stepped out into the garden. I watched him through the window, phone to his ear, a frown of concentration etched across his face. He slid back into his seat as if nothing had happened. Curiosity got the better of me. "Who was it?" I asked casually. "Oh, it was Liz. Just some questions," because they were moving in at the time. The simplicity of his answer did nothing to soothe the flurry of questions swirling in my mind. Why hadn't he mentioned it right away? Was there a reason he needed to take the call outside? This incident lodged itself in my thoughts, a splinter that irritated with each passing moment. My trust, once solid and unwavering, now felt like a tapestry fraying at the edges, threads of doubt weaving through its once pristine surface. As we approached the drop-off zone, I ventured a question, trying to keep my voice even. "You're just taking an Uber back home, right?" His hesitation was slight, but noticeable. I was actually going to see if maybe Liz could pick me up so I don't have to spend money on an Uber, he admitted, a stark contrast to the tightening in my chest. My response was measured. Oh, I can drive you instead since I came this far. He considered this, nodding in agreement, and settled on the Uber instead. A wave of relief washed over me, but a small seed of doubt remained, winding its way around my heart. The ease with which he had thought to call Liz, his slight hesitation, and the potential implications of such a decision played over in my mind during the silent drive back home. In the solitude of our apartment, I found myself increasingly wrestling with my feelings. Seemingly inconsequential moments, each text, each call fueled a growing unease. Was I being unreasonable? Was my discomfort rooted in jealousy? Or was it a signal of something more, a boundary being crossed without my consent? The internal debate was exhausting. Part of me wanted to dismiss these feelings, to chalk them up to overthinking, but another part, instinctive and primal, screamed that something was amiss. It wasn't just about Liz, it was about us, about me and Brian, and the invisible lines that defined what was comfortable and what was not in our relationship. As the days passed, fueled by each small interaction that Brian shared with Liz, I found myself observing him, searching for any indication that what I felt was grounded in reality and not just in my fear. It was a silent vigil, one that kept me awake at night, my eyes tracing the shadows on the ceiling. I realized that silence was no longer an option. The weight of unspoken thoughts was too heavy, and it was time to clear the air, for the sake of our relationship, which I treasured above all. I turned off the television, needing his full attention for this conversation. Brian, can we talk? I asked, my voice betraying the nerves I felt. Of course, what's up? He replied, his brow furrowing slightly. I took a deep breath, searching for the right words. It's about Liz, I started, hesitating slightly. I've been feeling a bit uncomfortable with how close you two have gotten recently. It's not that I don't trust you, my voice trailed off, unsure how to express the turmoil inside without sounding accusatory. Hey, I didn't realize you felt that way. I'm sorry, he said, his tone softening. It's just been work stuff, mostly. Liz is just a friend, you know that, he added, reaching for my hand. I really do, but it's not just the friendship. It's the time you spend together, car rides, the phone calls. It feels like a lot, and sometimes I feel left out, I admitted, my heart pounding as I laid my vulnerabilities bare. He squeezed my hand reassuringly. I'm really sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel left out. Since she's new in town, I guess I've been trying to make her feel welcome, he said. I nodded, trying to understand. I understand that, and I appreciate you helping her, but maybe we could all hang out together. I'd love to meet her fiancé too. It might help me feel more comfortable about everything, I suggested. Brian's face brightened at the suggestion. That's a great idea, I'll set something up. How about we all go out for drinks this weekend, he offered. Sounds perfect, I replied, feeling a weight lift off my shoulders. The mere act of discussing these feelings was like letting air out of a ballooning pressure inside me. The weekend came swiftly, and we met Liz and her fiancé, Tom, at a local bar known for its cozy atmosphere and good music. The initial greetings were somewhat awkward, tinged with my own anxieties about how the evening would go. However, as we settled into our seats and ordered drinks, the conversation began to flow more naturally. Liz was warm and engaging, and Tom was friendly, with a good sense of humor that complemented Brian's. We shared a love for old jazz music, which the bar was softly playing in the background. You have great taste in music, Tom remarked. Thanks, I replied, feeling a bit more relaxed. Brian mentioned you're planning your wedding. How's that going? I asked Liz, genuinely interested. It's been fun but stressful, Liz replied, sharing a mock look of acknowledgement with Tom. As the night progressed, Brian and Tom debated over sports, while Liz and I bonded over books. By the end of the evening, it felt like we had all known each other for much longer than a few hours. As Brian and I walked home hand in hand, I felt a sense of relief and gratitude wash over me. Over the next few months, we started a routine of having lunch together once a week. Liz opened up about the struggles of moving frequently for Tom's job. One particularly memorable evening, we all participated in a local trivia night, and teamwork had never been so hilarious. We didn't win, but as we sat laughing over our absurdly wrong answers, I realized that this newfound friendship was something truly special. It wasn't just about getting to know Liz better. It was about understanding Brian's world from another perspective, about intertwining our lives with others in meaningful ways. My fears and insecurities had not just been eased. They had been transformed into opportunities for growth and friendship. Our relationships with Liz and Tom added a new layer to our social dynamics, understanding that our love could stretch to include others without weakening. As I reflect on those initial fears, they seem like distant echoes now, overshadowed by the laughter, the shared experiences, and the genuine connection we've formed. It's strange how life unfolds, and learning to voice my concerns. In navigating through my insecurities, I found not just peace but a deeper connection to Brian. Our story, marked by a simple conversation one evening, reminds me continually of the power of communication, honesty, and the willingness to embrace the unexpected. Update: it was an evening like no other. The sun had just set, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange, as Brian and I headed out for what I thought was just another lovely dinner date. Little did I know, it was the night that would change our lives forever. As we arrived at the restaurant, I noticed Brian seemed unusually nervous, his hand slightly trembling as he held the door open for me. The atmosphere was enchanting, a small, elegantly decorated place known for its incredible views of the city skyline. From college friends to life partner, I couldn't help but notice Brian's distracted glances. I attributed it to work stress, not wanting to pry or disturb the evening's magic. When we returned home, the sight that greeted me left me breathless. Our apartment was transformed into a glowing sanctuary, candles flickering softly in every corner, petals scattered across the floor, and a string of twinkling lights illuminating a banner that read, "Will you marry me?" My heart raced as I took in the scene. There, in the midst of this fairy tale setting, Brian got down on one knee, his eyes shining with emotion. "Will you marry me?" he asked, his voice filled with a love that resonated deep within my soul. "Yes," I exclaimed, tears of joy streaming down my face. We embraced, lost in the moment, the candles flickering around us, a testament to our burning love. The next hours were a blur of happy tears and excited phone calls, sharing the news of our engagement with family and friends. As the excitement of the evening settled, Brian led me to the kitchen, revealing a surprise that made the night even more special. Liz, his coworker and our new friend, had been instrumental in planning the proposal. He explained that because of her proximity, living just a few floors away in our building, he had been able to coordinate all the deliveries secretly. The flowers, candles, champagne, and even the ring had been stashed at Liz's apartment, safe from my prying eyes. She even held onto the ring the week before I proposed. Brian chuckled, shaking his head in disbelief at the secrecy required. "I couldn't have pulled this off without her help," he added, his voice filled with gratitude. The following day, Liz came up to our apartment to congratulate us personally, showering us with hugs and well wishes. She took out her camera to capture the moment, and it was then, seeing her genuine happiness for us, that I fully grasped the depth of her kindness and friendship. What I had initially perceived as a threat had blossomed into an invaluable bond. This revelation was profound, a testament to the power of understanding and forgiveness. Over the next few months, Liz became an even greater part of our lives. We shared ideas, vendor recommendations, and endless Pinterest boards. Liz and I planned our weddings together, reveling in the joy of crafting our perfect days. Looking back, I am amazed at how things unfolded. What began as a period of uncertainty and fear transformed into a chapter filled with love, friendship, and understanding. Liz and I, once potential rivals in my mind, now stood side by side, planning our future side by side. Brian's unwavering support and openness through every step reassured me of the uncheckable foundation of our relationship. Our story, marked by moments of doubt and strengthened by communication, is a testament to the unpredictable nature of relationships. It is a reminder that the heart's capacity for love and forgiveness is boundless, and that sometimes, the people we least expect can become our staunchest allies. As I look forward to walking down the aisle next year, to say I do to the man who has been my best friend, my confidant, and now my fiancé, I am filled with gratitude for the love that surrounds us, and for the unexpected twists in life that often lead to the most beautiful destinations. Liz's role in our engagement story is a beautiful reminder of how interconnected our lives are, and how even the most significant moments of our lives can be enriched by the love and support of others. Indeed, communication saved the day again, clearing intentions, strengthening bonds, and reaffirming the power of friendship in building a stronger relationship. Considering everything you've read, do you think I handled the situation with Liz and Brian correctly? I'm interested to know if you think my initial concerns were valid, and if my approach to addressing them was appropriate. What would you have done differently in my situation? Or do you believe that I navigated the complexities of our relationship and Brian's friendship with Liz in a healthy and constructive way? I am curious to hear your perspectives on how best to handle feelings of insecurity and jealousy in a long-term relationship, particularly when faced with a seemingly close friendship between your partner and someone else. Please share your thoughts and advice, as I am always looking for ways to improve communication and understanding in my relationships.